Welcome to So True. And today's devotional is entitled Divine Appointments, and it's based on the text of John 4, verses 1 through 42. Pat and Tina O'Neill are friends of mine who have faithfully and fruitfully served God for many years through CBMC, Christian Businessmen for Christ. Over dinner one night, they told me of a time when they found themselves stranded in Johannesburg on the way home from a trip to Africa. Their unexpected overnight stay was due to a missed connection outside of their control. But instead of getting upset, they reminded themselves that there are no accidents with God, only appointments. So wherever they went, they decided to ask people this question: are you the reason we're in South Africa? That's pretty creative, is it not? One of the employees at the hotel who was asked the question said, "Maybe, I don't know." The next day, however, as Pat and Tina waited for their evening flight home, they decided to grab a light lunch in a cafe near the hotel. After their lunch had been served, the lady manager came by to see if they were satisfied with the service they had received. And as they responded to the manager's question, they asked her the big question: are you the reason we are in South Africa? In God's good providence, a conversation ensued that provided Pat and Tina a wonderful opportunity to share the gospel with this lady. But that's not the end of the story, or the best part of the story. When the manager departed, a waitress approached the O'Neills with tears in her eyes and shared with them that there were a number of Christians in the business praying for their manager's salvation, not wanting to get fired or upset their manager or overstep themselves. They had continued to pray that God would make a way for them to share the gospel with her. From their perspective, that prayer had just been answered. And Pat and Tina had just discovered the reason they were in South Africa. I love that story. And surely this story is a reminder that with God, there are no accidents, only appointments. It's also a vivid reminder that when it comes to whom, how, and when a person comes to faith in Jesus Christ, the testimony of Scripture and the record of the Gospels is that nothing is left to chance. Salvation is of the Lord. It is His gift to give, and the circumstances that lead to that event are also the Lord's and under His control. Jonah 2:9, Revelation 7:10 reminds us salvation is of the Lord, not just the gift, but the events that lead to the receiving of that gift. We see that demonstrably in the conversion of the Samaritan woman who meets Jesus at the well of Sychar and takes from him the living water of the gospel. Take some time and read that story, John 4, verses 1 to 42. This woman's salvation was divinely orchestrated. If you read the text, you'll see first, Jesus did not have to pass through Samaria on his journey from Jerusalem to Galilee. There were alternative routes open to him, but he did. John 4:4. Second, Jesus arrives at the well around noon, just in time to meet the woman. You see that John 4, verses 6 through 7. This woman had a checkered past, marked by public scandal. And so she comes alone to fetch the water at the hottest part of the day. What a coincidence. No, what a providence. Jesus was there at an unlikely time to meet her. And thirdly, the disciples arrived back just in time to witness the woman leaving to tell her friends about Christ. John 4:27 to 29. Look it up yourself. Jesus bids them to open their eyes to the gospel opportunities that are unfolding all around them. One he had just experienced himself. John 4:30 to 38 is Jesus teaching to his disciples about the fields being white on the harvest. They were there in a God-appointed place at a God-appointed time to be reapers in a God-appointed harvest. In relation to salvation, God is the chief evangelist. Let me say that again. In relation to salvation, it's very important, God is the chief evangelist. Don't miss your divine appointment today in sharing the gospel. Somebody is the reason you are where you are. God bless.